Okay, so Logi is such an incredibly broad topic that if I wanted to run through all the small tips and tricks I know about Logi, this video would be far too long and would never get published. And considering the fact that I haven't uploaded in a while, I figured it would be better to do a quick and shortish video. Don't be concerned if I don't cover what you wanted me to. There will be more videos like this coming up. For this video, I will specifically be talking about Logi positioning as well as Logi movements. First things first, if you have a designated Logi anchor or any anchor that you're supposed to be on, you should always be in that position. And never leave that anchor unless they specifically instruct to. To get to your anchor quickly when you are not on your anchor, I would suggest overheating your first cycle of prop. If you are much faster than your anchor for whatever reason, orbiting your anchor instead of keeping at range might be a good idea to keep your transversal up against enemies, but be careful of slingshotting yourself. Now, what if you don't have an anchor or you are the anchor? There are two things you always want to do and a third thing that's pretty nice to do as well. The first thing is to make sure that you are within range of your fleet. You don't want to be out of your own rep range, otherwise your logistics reps will be terribly ineffective. The second thing is you want to be out of range of the enemy. Now, in some scenarios where the enemy has a long range and low tracking, being closer might be better, though that's for you or your anchor to decide. Now, this means that you will probably have your fleet in between you and the enemy. That's ideally the best position for you to be in. It allows you to be within range of repairing your own fleet while being as far away as possible from the enemy. In addition, if someone is attempting to tackle you, your fleet will be in their way and they'll be able to get defensive scrams, webs, points, or DPS on the enemy ship. The third thing, which isn't necessary or critical, but is a good thing to do, is to be aligned to something. Whether or not it's a bookmark on grid or an off-grid ping, or whatever it is, it's always good to be aligned in case you need to get the heck out. Now, the reason why for Logi this is difficult is because a lot of time you're going to have to be doing a lot more moving than the main fleet. And if you warp off and your main fleet doesn't, or if you warp off to different places, it can leave your fleet in a bit of a pinch. And given the number of scenarios in EVE Online and all the different possibilities, there's no good rule of thumb for when you should be aligned to something, when you should warp off to something, when you should overheat your prop, all that stuff. And I leave that up to the individual pilot or anchor to decide for themselves. That's about it when it comes to Logi movement specifically. There are a few other things that you can do, like when your fleet decloaks to take a fight, you wait a little bit before you decloak, with the idea that the enemy FC has already called a primary, and if they have, it's not going to be you. Now, you have to be careful about this, because if they haven't called a primary, and they see you decloak late and you're much farther away from your fleet, that can be bad news for you. So, like everything in this video, I leave it up to the individual pilot to decide if they want to hold their cloak or not. If you are disappointed that the thing you wanted stated isn't in this video, don't worry, I'm probably going to do it soon. Or soonish. We'll see. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss content like this in the future.